Right, I'm doing a quick video of how to de-wiper a Lupo. This is obviously a Lupo GTI, but it'll work across all Lupos and Arosas. It'll be a similar kind of process for any other vehicle, from your Golfs to your Ford Focuses. However, obviously this is just literally how I'm doing it on this Lupo GTI. Now ignore the boot handle, because I'm currently doing another video which is going to show you how to kind of de-lock the rear handle wise and put a boot popper in. So at the minute I'm kind of working without a boot handle. Tools are a 13mm spanner, and there's going to be a ratchet, I believe, which is down here, which is 10mm. You'll also need a Torx screwdriver or a Torx bit for removing the rear panel that's here. Now I've already took it out because I'm working on the back, but it's a dead simple process. There's two screws. There's one that goes into here, one that goes into there. Torx screws, you'll see them through the black plastic panel. So you take those two out first, then get your fingers behind the lower bit and pull towards you slightly, which will pop out the fixings that are in here. They're just the plastic fixings, and then once they're pulled out, you push the whole thing forwards, and it will then push out these kind of fixings without kind of breaking anything. So yeah, that's how the plastic panel comes off, and then you're left with this. Now the wiper, you start on the outside first, and this is where you'll need your 13mm. So just bear with me. Boot down. So you lift this cap. This cap's obviously clipped on, so you prise this cap backwards from this side, left side, without damaging it. You can turn it all the way like that, and then you can either work on the bolt or you can remove that cap. I'm just going to leave that cap in because it's nowhere, it's not really an issue. So 13mm goes onto this nut here. Now I'm going to give it a real tight, there we go, right. There we go, so 13mm off. If it's tight, you might need to spray something like WD-40 on it. I have obviously a longer spanner than this. Luckily mine wasn't too bad. I've had some of them that have been a nightmare. So obviously 13mm bolt, nut, keep that to one side. As you can see, I've lost it already. Windscreen wiper, now this is normally seized on here. It looks like it's actually been off, to be fair, recently. Normally when they're stuck on here, what I normally do is spray some WD-40, take the arm back like this, and just give it a wiggle backwards and forwards, and then that usually breaks off the seal, and then you can just lift that away. So right, we're done from pretty much the outside. So there's a rubber grommet. Again, put your the arm to one side. There's this rubber grommet that you leave. Boot back up. Simple. Hoping everyone's sort of realising how simple this is. And then you've got, basically you've got 3 bolts there, which a 10mm fit nicely. So that's obviously how I'm going to remove it. You've also got a electrical connection, and you've got a water connection, which is basically the washer jet for the rear screen. Now the way I normally blank these off is either put a screw in the end, put a screw in the end of it, or a bolt, and then fold it back on itself and cable tie it. And then even if you do accidentally press the button, the water won't be able to squirt into your boot. The other way is just disconnect this pipe at the front of the car, or disconnect the button, but you still kind of want to make sure that worst case scenario nothing can come out of this end. So I'm personally, on this video, I'm just going to cut this and fold it back on itself. Right, so I've done a little bit while I was off the camera because I needed both hands, but yeah, I've kind of done it the method that I've used for years. I mean, it could be conceived as a bodge, but it works. So I've put something that fits in the hole quite snugly. So basically I've screwed in kind of a quite a long stainless bolt into there, and then I've cable tied the end off. Now if I use the washer jet, no water will come out of that. However, I am going to disconnect the pipe at the front. This is just temporary for the time being. I've undone 2 of the 3 nuts, and I've just basically pried these slightly back just to be able to pull off the electrical connector. So at the minute it's just a case of taking the last nut off, which now I can do finger tight, which is that there, and then the motor comes out nicely like that. So obviously the motor can be reused or sold. Being completely honest with you though, the motors from these Lupos aren't worth anything. They're not worth anything at all, to be honest. So as we go back to the outside, it's then time to remove this grommet. Now don't use any kind of screwdrivers or anything, just use your fingers to try and push the grommet through. If you use anything like a screwdriver, you can potentially break the glass. So there we go, there's the hole. Now you've got two options here. You can put a flat grommet from somewhere like B&Q, Screwfix, Toolstation, measure the size and just have a grommet to push in, which is the cheap way of doing it. Or the way that I'm doing it is using one of these kits, which are sold as a wiper delete, which is here. So they give you a bit of silicone and this kind of piece here. And what you want to do is clean the back of the glass, run a bead of silicone around the lip and then push it in from the back. So yeah, basically clean this nicely all the way around here, and then clean the outside and then pop it in, and that is your rear wiper delete finished. Right, so here you can see I've just freshly put it in. So the silicone is round the outside and a bit of the silicone's come through, but it's just a case of cleaning that quickly before the silicone goes off, and then removing obviously the protective layer that came with my kind of delete. What I like to do normally is get a bit of masking tape just to ensure it sticks, and push it onto the wiper delete, and then I'm going to leave that probably a day or so just to support it, to stop it falling in. But yeah, that's basically it.